think, if I'm not mistaken, after Shabbos on Sunday, we traveled to Pittsburgh, and we went up by Aunt Rose in Duquesne.
That was the first time you saw Aunt Rose in like 15 years.
I was, how many years?
15?
It's more than that. More than that. Because I was 27 years old, and I was 4 months when she left. So I didn't see her in 27 years. So she saw me, she left me when I was a baby. I was 4 months old. She didn't know. I didn't know her, she didn't know me. And actually...
What did you think of Aunt Rose?
Aunt Rose? I mean, I always dreamed, like as a child, I always said I was hoping that maybe when the sun sets, the sun would pick me up and drop me off in America. It didn't work that way. But, and then that was actually the middle of the week, and Sarah came to see us. She came from Chicago to visit us.
How long? What year were you born in?
I was born April 2021 in Belke, Kapushani.
And
it was called Hungarian Nagy Kapos. And in Yiddish it was called Kapish.
In Kapish, like, where did your father daven? And
in Kapish, you had a shul and a Beis Medrash. My father really, I mean, he came from the town where he came from. It was Ashkenazi. You know, he was in the villages where he lived before he came to Kapish. You know, was also Ashkenazi. So I heard this. I didn't live through this. My father supposedly started davening in the big shul in Kapish, which is Ashkenazi. They davened Ashkenazi. But then somebody hit my brother Shia. He gave him a patch, you know, and for no reason at all, because we were not the type of children that were misbehaved or we did mischievous things. And my father was upset about it, that whoever that person was, that he hit him. So from then on, he moved out of the shul, he davened in the Beis Medrash. That's what I heard that. That's what happened. So then we started davening Sephardi, you know, because it was Medrash, they were davening Sephardi.
could you tell us the story about El Mistater and your father and Shul in the shul?
That was. How do you know about that? I mentioned it to you already.
I love this story. It's one of my favorite stories.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that was. No, see, we went to the farmers to buy milk, and one morning the farmer comes in and he says, you know, Mr. Weiss. Ananju. I caught a nyest. In Hungarian it was called a nyest. It's a mink. He caught an animal, and a mink was, even there it was expensive, an expensive skin. You know? So my father didn't know too much about skins, you know, but I think he gave him, I don't know, whatever he asked for it, 10 krona or something. But then, same morning, he asked, his name was also Weiss. He asked him, because maybe my father thought he would give him some advice, you know, that, so he said, it's not worth nothing, but I'll give you for it 15 kron. Maybe my father give the guy 10 kron, so he gave him another additional. So my father sold it to him. But then my father found out that he sold it for almost 100 kron.
Oh my gosh.
So he took him to a Teure. And the Teure pastor that he used to sing by Shalshudas, Keil Mistater all the time.
Who?
This fella, Rabbinim Wall Weiss was his name. So the
What did your father sing?
Enkel Akenu, I think.
Where? Nachshul?
No, that was Special shooters.
After Kamastater comes Enkelokana.
Yeah, whenever they had different. Practically everybody wanted to sing could sing a Zemer.
At Shalashudis or just throughout Shabbos?
At Shalashudis. So anyway, he used to sing Kamastater, and so but the Torah paskent that it was a penalty. What do you call that?
Knas.
A knas.
So for stealing 85 kronen, his knas was that he can't say.
I can't sing.
Kamastater?
Yeah. But once he started singing, my brother Yitzchak and a friend took some water and poured on him.
He tried to sing it anyways?
Anyways, yeah.
So they poured water on him?
Yeah. So actually he took him to court,
To non-Jewish court?
To non-Jewish court, But there was, because he said that in the middle of prayers, they did that. So there was a witness, Shia Lando was his name. He was a witness and explained to the judge it wasn't prayers, it's just a matter of waiting between one prayer and another not to waste time, so we get together and sing. So it wasn't a prayer. But my brother got a penalty on probation for a year or so. If he repeats something like that, then he would go to jail,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was your father upset at them for pouring water on the guy? Or he was happy?
No, he wasn't. He didn't like it. No. My father didn't like it. My first Purim Spiel was when I was probably 6 years old. Shall I tell you the Purim Spiel?
Yeah.
Agitten Purim an liebe Kronen. In Kruke sollt es weinen. Weinen sollt es in Kruke, soll's geben Zeduke. Zeduke sollt es geben, soll's lang leben. Leben sollt es leben, der russische Zar soll liegen krank. Krank soll sein, soll trinken Wein. Wein soll trinken, soll werden angesinken. Angesinken soll werden, soll tanzen mit der Bären soll tanzen. Essen soll der Wanzen soll essen. Gott soll vergessen. Soll werden am Misch. Remember the Purim Spiel? That was my first Purim Spiel.
You made it up? What do you remember about your mother? Like, you have any memories?
Like sure I have
specific things?
About my mother. She was a frum lady, my mother. She went every Shabbos to shul, to Besmedrish. She belonged to Besmedrish. And she was a hard worker, my mother. She worked very, very hard. Because, that was more, my father used to go to the milking and so on, but otherwise, that was already my mother who carried on with making the butter and making the cheese and force feeding geese and things.
So what did your father do with all his free time?
Well, whatever he always did something, He was learning, whatever he could do, he did. Whatever he was able to help, he helped. We came back with nothing, but with the cigarettes, that happened when I was released from the army.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Munkach, to Abi's birthplace.
How did you travel there?
By train.
You just got on a train?
From Kapish to Ungvar, I went by train. They had a train. And from Ungvar, I don't know. I went there. You
paid for a train ticket?
No, I was dressed in uniform, in a soldier's uniform. So they let you ride free.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know how I went, because there was no train to Munkach. I don't know how I wound up in Munkach, but it wasn't too far from Ungvar. Either I went I hitchhiked, but I managed to get there.
Then what?
Then I bought 2 suitcases of cigarettes. And I was trying to take him to Prague.
To sell?
And actually, coming from Munkach, I hitchhiked on a Russian truck, Russian soldiers. And don't you think that they tried to take away from me the cigarettes already? Right then and there. It happened in Ungvar. They wanted to throw me off the truck and take away the cigarettes. And I was so brave. I took the 2 suitcases of cigarettes, I threw them off the truck in the middle of the street, and I jumped off the truck. And this is the way I saved the cigarettes. But in the end, I wound up, they took away from me the cigarettes anyway.
Why? What happened?
Well, then my brother-in-law, Shia, we were traveling together. We were going to take the cigarettes. I brought the cigarettes to Kapish. And from Kapish, I was going to go to Prague. And we went we were traveling, but, I don't even know how we went to the border of Czechoslovakia had 5 provinces. It was Slovakia, and from Slovakia we had to cross to Morava, it was called, that other province. And there it was nighttime, and there was no train, so we went on wagon somehow. And I had the cigarettes, and there were the border guards. They found us the cigarettes, so we were in trouble again. And they wanted to know who the cigarettes belonged, so I took it upon me because I was dressed as a soldier, so I figured they can't be too harsh on me. And my brother-in-law was on that wagon too, and they arrested me with the cigarettes, and they took me into a town, and the town was called Vsetin, and they kept me there. It was all day until I don't actually wanted to give me some cigarettes back. They wanted to make a deal with me, and I was stubborn. I didn't want any deals. I said, either you give me back everything or nothing. So they gave me nothing, and they released me. And Uncle Joe was still in the army. Where I was released from the army was also in Morava, in Kromeriš. And so here they released me, and there was a bus going somewhere. So I don't even know where the bus went, but it was so full, the bus was so full with people. I was traveling on the top of the bus. And that night,
they didn't mind that you were on top of on the roof of the bus?
Other people were there too, so I wasn't myself. It was no room inside the bus, I was on the top of the bus. But I don't remember exactly, but I wound up that night in the place where I thought Uncle Joe is still in the army there. I was there with him in that city.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to the barracks of the army, and imagine no guards. It was a big barrack, Kromeriš had a lot of soldiers, and it's empty. It was at night time. So what am I going to do here at night? I went and I lied down, and I slept over the night there. So I found out where Joe is.
How do you find out?
I found out where they went. When they went to another town in the Sudetengebiet. Most was the name. In German they called it Brix. And my brother-in-law was with me, Shia Schwartz.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what happened to him. So I decided to go from Kromeriš. I went to Prague.
But I thought you didn't have the cigarettes anymore.
No, I didn't have no cigarettes.
So why were you going to Prague? What for?
Prague, I was trying to find Joe, but Joe wasn't in Prague, he was somewhere else. But we were planning to go to Prague, so I figured my brother-in-law went to Prague, which he did. And I wound up in Prague. In Prague, you had a place actually for displaced persons and so on. You had a place, a hotel that you could sleep for free. So I slept in that hotel that night. In the morning, I go on a streetcar, and what do you think? I see my brother-in-law on the street in Prague. Prague was a big city, it's not a small town. I jumped off the streetcar, and that's the way I met up with him again.
Then Joe was released, and you went back with him?
Joe was released, and then we decided. Then we moved to Carlsbad.
Mm-hmm.
And there I took a job on it, because I said, I cannot, it looks like I'm not fit to do, black market businesses.